Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or you're just happy to see me?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Before I officially say hello to everyone in the chat, I forgot to tweet out that we are going live for Talk Nerdy to Us.
Are you wearing black lipstick?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Thank you. So I decided to change it up just a little bit this week, especially because I had to get a new PC. Because like the last time we did it, which was like 2 weeks ago, it had to be it was conveniently on your channel, so I had to use my laptop to be able to join in. And then the following week would have been on my channel, but I did not have a PC then. I was like, it came like the Tuesday after.
Yeah.
So we decided to skip because we were both tired, and I told her, you could do it if you want, because I won't be able to host without.
I think didn't I just like? Oh no, I was gonna say I thought I just got home too, but I don't think I did.
I don't know, but like like you said, you were tired, and I was like, it's fine, basically. So because I asked you also if you wanted to skip it anyway, because I'm like, I can't do it, so it's up to you if you wanted to host or not.
Yeah.
Very difficult without a second monitor to be able to keep up with the YouTube side, because it doesn't show everything sometimes on the StreamYard side. Now I'm going to tweet out that we're live, and Steph is going to entertain you guys for at least a little bit. I saw Soul Assassin, place your bets. Will Steph get first place for number 1? I don't know. I still haven't figured out how those channel point things work.
What do you mean? Oh yeah. Number 1. Oh, I have to chat in the chat then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it this time. I'm gonna do it this time. I wanna be awesome like Mara and have like a cool colored lipstick.
I gotta get like the Sephora brand or something, because that's what I think Rhea Ripley uses, because this is a Rimmel brand. It doesn't want to stay.
Rimmel's nice.
It's nice, but it doesn't want to stay for some reason. I'll take a swig. Awesome. I'll take a swig of water, and it's like, okay, I gotta reapply the lipstick.
I have Twilight makeup, but this is kind of dark. No, it's really not.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I'm like,
I don't have black lipstick. Hashtag women. Yeah, this is women problem. I want black lipstick. I have like, oh, wait. I have like a deep plum.
Like
that
berry,
might work.
Like berry white deep.
I have a deep plum.
That could work.
It could work. It's like, it's over there though. I'd have to like get up and go get it.
She just jumped down from her chair.
Has Twilight lipstick. Listen, is that a PP in the chat? Toxic male. That looks like a PP.
Knowing him, yes.
I was holding a mushroom. Did you see my mushroom on stream, Mara?
No, I like popped in like around the 10, like when it's like around 8 p.m. after I was like done with the stuff. And I was like, that's when I asked you.
I was holding an awesome mushroom, and hold on, I'm gonna show you what it looked like because it was awesome.
Yeah, and welcome everyone. And normally I pin my PayPal link, which I appreciate. Like I do appreciate if you'd like to send me donations through PayPal. But what I have pinned is the Gronk Squad channel. They are trying to get to 500 subs, and I don't expect them to get to basically 500 tonight. But anyone who's in our chats who hasn't subbed to their channel, basically Lethal Lightning, Mazza, Nasmer, John Connors, the Cream NATO, Extra Zero, they do a lot of streams, and they're trying to get to 500 so they can get monetization on their channel, the Gronk Squad channel. So I have their channel pinned. Right now they're at 341 subs the last I checked. Like I said, if you haven't checked them out, and you enjoy watching gaming streams, basically. Oh, shut up, Mr. Tex. You know you follow them. Well, I gotta say it like Brienne from the IO showcase, basically, shush your mouth. Is that what she said, basically? But go sub to them. Like I said, they're trying to reach 500, and I'm pretty sure there are those in the chat who haven't checked them out, basically. But if you like watching gaming streams with all the tisms, with all the tisms. Check them out. It's in the pinned comment in the chat, basically. So if you I'm pretty sure Soul Assassin, but you haven't, sub to them basically. But yeah, I have their channel, Gronk Squad channel, pinned, and I'll periodically mention it throughout the stream. But like I said, they're trying to reach 500. So, Gravy, you are just a
Mara,
want to be punished.
look at my mushroom. Look at this.
She found the shrooms, ladies and gentlemen. She
Look
found
at
the
my
shrooms.
mushroom. I can't remember what it was called. It was like
I'm just gonna call it
or something. Look at my mushroom. Look
you
at
don't
it.
Want, you don't want my opinion on what it could be called.
It's called a chubby. It's called a chubby shroom. I was carrying a chubby. I had a chubby.
Do you know what chubby is also slang for?
A chubby shroom. Look at it. That's what it says. It's a chubby. I was trying to give my chubby to disprove, but he wouldn't take it.
It's not called a chubby in the game. I'm saying, do you know what it's slang for? You got a chubby?
Yeah.
Okay.
The mushroom.
No.
I'm telling you, I was trying to give my chubby to disprove, but he wouldn't take it. He was up there looking at me like really mad. He kept running away from me.
Just don't say you were trying to give your chubby to disprove. Don't say it like that. I can't. I can't.
It looks so funny when it looks like this. He's like judging me from up there.
Yes.
Anyways, that was my chubby. Mara spit her water out.
Almost. I was like, almost. Anyway, now that we've established that Disbrew did not want Steph's chubby.
He didn't take my chubby.
How did you... Okay, before I say hello to the chat, I just gotta know. How did you come across that game? Because that looks like the most interesting concept of a game.
He found it.
Okay. All right.
I think it was between that game and another game. We chose this one.
I didn't spit last Toxic Mail. I'm not a quitter. Yeah, I popped into the chat. I saw because I was handling stuff after D&D. By the way, Chad, this D&D session or I should say Call of Cthulhu. I call it D&D, but it's Call of Cthulhu, which is technically outside, separate from D&D. Traumatized me. There was something I had to do during the game. Kind of. Had to do. I decided to do it. And traumatized me. Pretty much. Stieg was happy with himself, of course. But I left traumatized.
Trauma.
My mental...
You usually get traumatized every time you play D&D.
Not all the time. I'll type in the private chat, Steph. What I kind of had to do. And I think you'll understand why I'm semi-traumatized. So, hold on, chat. And then I'm going to say hello to everyone. Okay.
I want a crown. Oh, Disper says the game was on top sellers list on Steam. It sold 1 million copies in a week.
Wow.
Peak gaming. Peak.
Okay, put in the private chat what I had to do. Her expression says it all.
Mara,
So chat.
what is your D&D game?
The from the dark recesses of Steve's mind,
Ew.
basically. That is our D&D game.
That's dirty.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
So, and this is coming from the same person, me, who stuck a candle up a woman's hoo-ha during our one D&D session. But anyway, chat, welcome again. If you haven't subbed to the Gronk Squad channel, please do so. They're trying to reach 500 subs. Very much appreciate it. So you can harass Maza and all that fun stuff, basically. Within reason, don't go overboard. But there is shit talking, and as in the gaming community, we shit talk each other, pretty much. But anyway.
You can't say that's dirty after describing your chubby. Take my mushroom. I was trying to feed it to Disbrew, and he wouldn't take it.
Disbrew wouldn't feed on your chubby?
No. He needed
Please,
food.
dear God, tell me you know what chubby means. Just nod that you actually know what chubby means.
It's the mushroom.
I'm not saying what it means in the game. I'm saying the slang.
I want the lipstick. Hold on, I'm gonna go get my lipstick.
Okay, fine. Disbrew did not want to eat Steph's chubby. Anyway, few things to talk about. Might cover other topics here and there, like during the conversation. But what I have, chat, is a little bit of Superman news. Basically, box office predictions for the new Superman movie. They're not, depending on what sources you look into. Basically, it's either going to be do pretty damn well or not that well, pretty much. But we'll see. I'm going to talk a little bit of 28 Years Later. I don't want to go into details, especially if you have not seen it. But I saw 28 Years Later Saturday, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that because it is supposed to be a trilogy. It's supposed to be a trilogy, so I'm going to give it at least the ending, and I do agree with you, Trey. I'm going to give the ending a little bit of a pass because I want to see where it leads into the second movie. So I'm going to give it just a little bit of a pass because of where it ends. I do have an article that Stieg shared with me after the D&D session about how the writers for Daredevil Born Again were not allowed to watch the original Netflix series. Basically, they were kind of banned from watching the original Netflix series while writing for Daredevil Born Again. So basically, what you got in Daredevil Born Again, why it was part of the reason why it was shit, is that reason. And Squid Games is in the news. It should be dropping. If it hasn't dropped on Netflix yet, it should be dropping soon. The final season, basically part 2 of the second season for Squid Games. But the creator of Squid Games, the showrunner, I should say, has addressed the backlash over the casting of that transgender character. Spoiler alert: if you have not seen part 1 of season 2, basically there is a transgender character. Now, that's not the worst part about that character. That's not even the worst part about that character. So there's nothing to that character for me to empathize with, basically, just as the character alone. Never mind the transness or anything like that. It was really nothing to any of these characters for me to go, yeah, I really, I know deep down most of them are going to die, but I really hope this so-and-so doesn't die, or this so-and-so doesn't die. Nothing like season 1, basically. But the last part, yeah, okay, June 27th, so a week, so this coming Friday, the last season will be dropping.
I looked it up. It means chunky.
Did you look it up Urban Dictionary?
No, I just Googled it. Chubby.
Okay. Hold on, chat.
All right, hold on. I'll do Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, you gotta do Urban Dictionary. I said slang.
I looked up slang, and it just said
Urban
another
Dictionary slang.
chunky. See, it says chunky. Or a joint. Oh.
And you wanted to feed your chubby to Disbrew. There it is, chat. There it is. If you can, there it is. And you were talking about it live on stream. I'm looking at you going,
no.
know what that means? Do you know? I took Steph's innocence tonight. He's like, yes. Oh, I didn't realize you were calling it that. Chode mushroom. Yeah. So Steph is
Oh,
on this episode of Sesame Street, we learned the word chubby.
chode.
All right. Got the Squid Game showrunner, and the only other like article I have pulled up, and like I said, we could be talking about other things. Yes, take it in, Steph, that you wanted to feed your chubby to this room.
I thought it was just a chunky mushroom because it was.
Go and get some hashtag chubbies in the chat.
I thought it was just a chunky mushroom. Dang it!
And there's a new popcorn bucket for the Fantasy Four movie coming up, basically. So you had the Galactus, yeah, one. And there's a new one. There's a new one coming up. So, but here it is. But I'm gonna say hello to everyone in the chat, and yeah, we are going to go from there. So from the top, thank you, Gravy, for becoming a YouTube member. Very much appreciated. Welcome, everyone. This is the link, as I said, to the Gronk Squad channel. So if you've not subbed to their channel and you love watching gaming streams with all fun gaming streams with all the tisms and shit talking, like I said, within a little bit of reason, go check them out. Right now they have a premiere going. I don't know if it's still going. That they drop premiere videos for their Monster Hunter Wilds videos. They, like I said, they do gaming streams. Recently they did the DLC for Dead by Daylight, the new map and everything, so go check that out. Very much appreciate it if you do give them a sub. They are trying to reach 500 subscribers so they can get monetization on YouTube on that channel, so very much appreciate it. Yes, I finally got a new computer. It came to last Tuesday, and I've been spending this past week, and I'm still going to be spending some time reinstalling a bunch of stuff, to include having to get this is the pain in the ass part of it, but to get my overlays for OBS. So I'm not really going to do a gaming stream tomorrow because I'm going to be going through the process of getting the overlays.
Redoing everything?
Yeah, I have to sub to Streamlabs Ultra just for 1 month, basically, because to get the overlays I was using in OBS Studio base. So I can't just download them again. I have to renew my subscription to Streamlabs, even though I'm not using Streamlabs, just to get a bunch of overlays, basically. So that's going to be a little bit of time. So the next stream I do, chat, and I'll mention this again at the end of the stream, next stream I'll likely be doing is the reading stream on Tuesday. So whether or not it's going to be 1 or 2 chapters, because it depends on the chapter length. But next stream I'll be doing after this will be the reading stream.
Wait, you don't have all of your stuff saved in Streamlabs? Under like all your scenes and things?
Well, it's a new PC, basically. So
yeah, but you just download Streamlabs and you should have everything saved when you log in. I
can't find them. I'm going to keep looking, basically, but I'm not seeing them. And when I tried importing them to OBS, because it was reading it, that should still have them, it was missing. Yeah. Every file was missing, shown missing. So I couldn't. So I don't know what's going on. So it's gonna be a little bit more time for the gaming streams, ladies and gentlemen. It's basically that in that little fucking rambling that I did, a little bit more time with the gaming streams, because of that.
That's strange, because everything should be saved and stuff.
It should be, but like I said, I gotta look through. I have not had much time, because I had my cousin's wedding Friday. So one of the few times you will see. How was the wedding? It was fun. The ceremony itself was short. The reception part was long.
Did you dance?
Yeah, I danced. I wore a dress. So, yes. One of the few times you'll ever see me wear a dress.
Out of everything for the wedding, Mara didn't send me any photos of her in the dress. She didn't send me any pictures of the wedding. No pictures of her dancing, but I did get a picture of something.
Anyway. So I wasn't
taking me one photo.
My hands were taking pictures. I wasn't taking pictures.
I got
you'll like the last Toxic Mail. It's a dark red. It's a dark red color. So how about this, chat?
It wasn't a chubby.
No. Definitely not. Definitely
It was
not.
so cute.
It's so cute. If 6 more people sub to Gronk Squad, they're at 344 now. If 6 of you in the chat have not subbed to Gronk, Gronk Squad, do so. I will put the dress on for the rest of the stream and keep pimping out their channel. Basically, I will put the dress on. It's a dark red dress. But we got it. They have to reach at least 350. So 6 more. They need 6 more. And their channel is the pinned comments in the chats. And so basically, long ass going through this chat. I will get through it eventually. Thank you, Mike Hill. Anthony Way, good to see you. Brandon Black Dragon Blair, good to see you. Mad Dog, what is up? Last Toxic Mail, shout out Red Lingerie. Yeah. Trey Courtney, hello. Yep, we are back because I finally got a new PC. So that should, fingers crossed, it's a meta PCs. So it should be good for a long while. Psychotic Mongoose, what is up? Soul Assassin, good to see you.
Did you use my code?
I used the military one. I tried to stack yours on top of it and it wouldn't let me because I had already added the military. The fact that I was a military veteran, so it wouldn't let me add your code.
Use my code, people.
Yeah.
Nobody uses my code.
If you want to get a PC, all right. The reason why I'm going to suggest meta PCs is not just because if you use Steph's code, kind of helps her out a little bit. But if say you need a new PC and you don't have enough to basically plunk down for right in one payment for a new PC, they have options for payment plans, which I appreciate. Basically, they have options for payment plans. So, like I said, if you need a new one and you can't afford, and then one payment, they offer that, which I do appreciate. So my new PCs of meta PCs, I'm liking it so far. Fingers crossed. Hey, Mikey, thank you for subbing to the Gronk Squad channel. I see that.
The code is not chubby. I should change the code. I don't get anything from it except bragging rights.
You still give her at least some bragging rights, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
so her code is Minority Home, one word. So if you go on Meta PCs, you can do that.
I've
Harry
never
Stem.
used this lipstick before.
What is up? They are, yes, an odd but good gaming duo. Steph is like Hey from Moana.
Look, he's right there.
Yeah, see?
I changed my background. Oh, I need to turn this light on. Hold on.
And yes, this is my PayPal. I do appreciate donations to my PayPal. It's not expected, but appreciated. But pinned the Gronk Squad YouTube channel instead for this week. If I miss anyone, do apologize, Mr. Tex. There you are. Good luck on the move. At least you're getting out of California, so good luck there.
To Idaho.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I've never been there.
I haven't been either. I think the furthest I've been is Nebraska. So I think it's a little bit further than Texas.
Oh, this is dark. I've never worn this before.
Optimus N64, good evening. Good to see you. And Mara Ripley, so changing up a little bit. But I'm going to see if I can get a shade, a black shade from Sephora, see if that works a little bit better. Because that's a brand Rhea Ripley uses.
Kind of uneven.
Evan, good to see you. Oh, this mom gets tired too. Gigawatt. Yes, I got a new GPU. I actually had to get a new monitor also because my old monitor, while it read through the HDMI connection, my Xbox, it was not reading the new PC. So I had to get a new monitor too. That was fun. But at least I just ordered the one I'd ordered from Amazon, so it was in my history, which made it simpler, and it came the next day. So that was at least appreciative. And this is my Twitch. Yeah. Disparu. Hello. Mike Noah says, Steph, what happened to all your figures? Well, I guess new layouts.
The only thing I need to change is this and then the Star Wars shelf.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of wanted to minimalize everything behind me. So I changed it up a little bit. They're still in this room. I just moved them to a different shelf.
Mm-hmm. Hertz Donut, hello. Good to see you. Mo Monty. Seeing the chubby conversations.
I feel bad using chubby. It was a mushroom. It was called a chubby.
I know, but Steph, I had to ask you if you knew the slang, because if you kept using it, I knew the chat was going to just tease you mercilessly. Most likely still going to do it, but you know our chat.
I feel terrible.
So Steph, if my eyes ever widen, that should be your clue to maybe not use that word. I'm just saying, if my eyes go wide and nothing hardly anything phases me, but if you go, it's a chubby.
Like, you did spit your water.
Yeah. So look, it's a chubby. Yeah, thank you everyone. Yeah, for subbing. Except if they reach 350, I will put the dress on. Yeah, I know. I lost my innocence a long time ago. So, like, as soon as you said that, I was like, "Oh dear God."
Well,
I was like Trace N-word.
I didn't know.
Trace like N-word. Oh my God.
I think Disper said in chat, like, I thought she knew what it meant. That's why, like, I kept running away from her or something like that. And I didn't know. I kept saying it because it bothered him. Like, I was chasing him with a mushroom because it bugged him. Like, that's what it's doing. Ow! It's not because of the chubby name.
Just making sure.
It's like, if you don't do it, I'm gonna make you do it.
So again, if I miss anyone, I do apologize. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. What kind of D&D? Right now, it's like I said, it's technically not D&D. It's Call of Cthulhu, but we're running Call of Cthulhu sessions now. Where our characters are in the 90s, basically. So there's like 90s fan service. I think the time that it's set is like about a couple months before the events of Jurassic Park happens. Give you perspective on, like, when in the 90s it is. But when we do play D&D, it's around the 3rd edition rules, basically. We played Conan D&D one time, and my character was a Temptress. And to give you an idea of the Temptress character, at least when I was playing it, in Conan D&D, there is actually a feat. Last Ox Mail, you'll appreciate this. I think you all will, basically. Last Ox Mail, I know will appreciate this. Is once my character reached level 20, my character was pretty much a MILF. And I had a feat where I could screw guys into unconsciousness. So if we had to sneak... I'm not kidding. If we had to sneak past guards, I was like, I got this. Like,
my God!
There's a feat, an actual feat for that. I put a lot of points into performance.
I bet you did.
I put a lot of points into performance. So when that time came, I was like, I got it.
Like, they would just completely pass out. Like what?
Like
so how would it work?
Not just
was
fall
it like
asleep,
after
they were out.
Like after they were done, or is it just like the connection and then they passed out?
It was kind of like I screwed them so hard, I made them lose consciousness. Like, not just fall asleep, not just pass out. Like, they lost consciousness.
So they died?
No, like they were like, so they were like basically out to the world. And I did that too, at least on a few occasions. One of which, like, I had to get past this guard to get to my aunt and or up this tower. That's what I did. Wow. There it is, chat. So you learned something new about what I played. So, but yeah, when we played Conan D&D, that's what it's like. So I think the next time I play, like, Stig does not let you play the same class of characters. So I don't know if we're gonna be playing Conan D&D again. Chances are I won't be able to play a Temptress again. So, Okay, so yeah, okay. That's where we got June 27th. Mark Jacobs, good to see you.
That's a
Yeah,
cool
day before Night of
power.
Champions. Yeah, Night of Champions is this week. Sinister Looking Kid, hello. Superman can go two ways. It can do very well or it can underperform. Well, right now, like I said, it's 50-50, but the way it looks, according to the article I found, it could potentially underperform its opening weekend. So we'll see. Sandro, Mara, I assume Steph didn't appreciate your Cosby solution. She has a lot to learn. It's not great. It's a type of surprise mechanics. We stand with you with some distance for safety, yes.
Hey, it's not that I didn't approve. Y'all's game is y'all's game. I was
Yeah.
just shocked.
It's a shock. It kind of traumatized me. But I will regale you guys with the D&D story this week. If I'm able to game, it won't likely be until like Wednesday, just to give me some more time to reinstall a bunch of stuff. So basically looking for like Wednesday to be the first gaming stream. And when that happens, I expect, I fully anticipate you all will remind me to tell a D&D story, and I will let you know what I had to do. Kind of why I left the session, with PTSD a little bit.
I'm looking for
Tommy. And Megan 2.0 comes out Friday. I don't think I'm going to see that in theaters. I'm thinking I'm going to sail the seas first for it.
You did see 28 Years Later.
Yeah, I saw that.
What
I
did
might
you
see it
think?
again with my siblings, so that's why I might not see Megan 2.0 in theaters. So I will be talking about my impression of 28 Years Later.
Yeah.
Um,
Give us your review
so
for that, because I haven't seen it.
Making sure don't miss anyone. JM, good to see you. Tazrin, good to see you. Shadow Axe, to quote Odin, what in the heck did I just walk into? Well, I think that was a point where it's like Steph realized what a chubby is. Slang for outside of the
I
proportions
thought it meant
of the body.
chunky. Like it's a chunky mushroom, a big fat one.
So again, if I miss anyone, I do apologize. Yeah, hashtag chubby, hashtag chubby, hashtag chubby. No, see, I mean, you can just call it a mushroom.
That's not what it's called in the game.
So, Frosty Beer, Steph likes chubby mushrooms or chubby shrooms. War Machine, hashtag chubby. Wiley Dave, hello. Calix, hello. Che, yep. Dan, did you try using the map to find your files? Okay, Chad, if you're new to this stream, Blake here I'm going to physically assault him whenever I get to where he lives, and I'm going to live stream the physical assault happening while wearing one of my cosplays. So he comes in purposely to poke the bear, fully anticipating that he's going to be facing some type of physical assault.
Poke it. He knows what he's doing.
He full on knows what he's doing. He full on knows. Yeah, really annoying. Getting everything. Really fucking annoying. We're going to talk about Superman. We're going to talk about that. We'll be getting into that a little bit. So not necessarily an Ada Wong dress, but it's dark red. Do it for the red dress, yes. Like if you want to see me in the dress, I will put it on. No, I mean turn the camera off so you don't see me doing it, but I will put the dress on. Since we had to start everything, I'm gonna kind of skip down to the end. But if I'm missing it, hello to everyone, I do apologize. But War Machine, thank you for gifting 5 subs. They went to Psychotic Mongoose, Dog Conroy, Justin, Wiley Dave, and Tara Crystal. Much appreciated. And thank you for the $20 super chat, Wiley Dave. Same message on Instagram. Do you have a P.O. box? I don't know if you saw the Life Size Gremlins I sent Jay and X-Wing. I have one left that you may like. Let me know. I do not have a P.O. box, unfortunately. Steph, do you have my address? Because you have a P.O. box. Like, if he sent it to you, like, you could send it to me.
Yes, I have your address.
Yes, please. Would you be willing to let him send it to your P.O. box, and then you send it to me if he's willing to, like...
Sure.
I don't have a P.O. box yet. So, Wiley Dave, if you could do that, like, with the note saying, like, you know, like, this is for Mara, please send it to her, or whatever... I would very much appreciate that. Like I said, unfortunately, I do not have a P.O. box just yet.
Also, Wiley Dave, thank you very much for the P.O. box stuff. I opened it up off stream. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to wear the Fifth Element one. Not tonight, just because I packed it away a little bit. So I'd have to like go find it. And thank you for gifting a sub Psychotic Mongoose. It went to, hold on real fast, to Energy 85. Thank you very much for that. Hello, Sentai. All right, everyone. Let's get right into this, shall we? All right. Yeah, I did enjoy Man of Steel. I very much enjoyed Man of Steel. I don't understand the level of hate it got. I know people had to have their ideas of what Superman is. I never really got into reading Superman. But I did like Man of Steel, and I don't think it deserved the hate it got. Anyway, but speaking of Superman, where are you? I found this article because things were going around about the box office predictions for James Gunn's Superman. And depending on the sources, you know, my sources, it could do well, or it might not even cross the 100 million on opening weekend. I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't know if it's gonna be included in the Gunverse. I guess technically
I know that Zachary Levi wants for his Shazam to be brought over, but I honestly, if I'm
I don't think
looking at things from like James Gunn is only keeping James Gunn created characters. So like Peacemaker, some of the characters from his Suicide Squad movie, like those are the only ones that he's keeping. I highly doubt it. I don't think that he's gonna be brought over. Nobody is.
Yeah, like I did not bring up this article, but I did find one where it's like, yeah, like as you pointed out, James Gunn likes to work with like the same set of people, and like that includes like the characters he created.
Yeah,
and chances are no.
Well, Viola Davis is because she was in the Suicide Squad, the James Gunn movie. Like he's literally he might just keep the people that are in his movies.
Yeah,
like that's what I think, and I think it's just because of his ego. He doesn't care, and he doesn't want. I think like if he
it's
kept
fully his ego. He has an ego. Like his wife too.
His wife too. I feel like if he kept like major characters, then people will be like, oh, well, I mean, he kept Shazam in there. So if Shazam's in there, does that mean Henry Cavill Superman can come back or Ben Affleck's Batman? You know, like it's there's a fine line. So I think that like certain characters he'll keep, and it's basically the ones from his movies.
Yeah. So, but welcome Aldo's Journal. Appreciate it. And again, if you haven't subbed to the Gronk Squad channel, thank you for becoming a member, Mark of Reality. And the $5 super chat from Mike Hill. Thank you so much. The cross-eyed scene from the trailer has been cut from the movie. Maybe it'll help out the box office. We'll see. If you have not subbed to the Gronk Squad channel, appreciate it. Because if it reaches, like I said, 350, at least 350, hopefully more, but at least 350, I will put on the dress I wore to my cousin's wedding. But anyway, let's get into this article real fast. I'll try to zoom in a little bit so you all can see it better. Superman box office. So basically, depending on what source you read, it could do well. or it could not even cross 100 million on opening weekend. So, while some estimates suggest a debut that could surpass Man of Steel, others predict a significantly lower domestic opening below 100 million, depending on audience reception and final marketing momentum. James Gunn's Superman is projected to open with 135 million at the U.S. domestic box office, according to National Research Group, via the Hollywood Reporter. The tracking range provided by NRG spans from 125 million to 145 million. This estimate places Superman above the last solo Superman film, Man of Steel, but below Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. However, some studio insiders and distribution sources are reportedly suggesting a more conservative range of 90 million to 125 million. According to Deadline, first choice for Captain America: Brave New World is higher than Superman's by 71% at the same point in time. That film opened with 88.8 million. Additionally, Superman's first choice percentage is 64% below the Batman, 134 million opening in 2022. Despite these conservative projections, pre-sales for Superman reportedly outperformed the Fantastic Four first steps. I'm not surprised there during the first 24 hours, including advanced Amazon Prime early access screenings on July 8th. According to distribution reports, Superman recorded the highest advanced ticket sales of the year within its first 24 hours. So depending on what source you go with, it's either going to do well at the US box office, basically 125 million to 145 roughly opening, or potentially not even cross 100 million. So, hey, Raging Rhino.
Like, looking at the Deadline article, that would be below post-COVID superhero movies like Thor: Love and Thunder, The Batman, and James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Like, and guns. Yeah. Oof.
So, like I said, this is not a definite, but it is something to consider, especially because, like, I'm not surprised that it's beaten Fantastic Four the first steps, because I have not seen any hype for the new Fantastic Four movie. So I'm not surprised that it's beaten in pre-sales for that movie. I'm not surprised there.
It did, yeah. It did outsell Fantastic Four first steps as far as like pre-ticket sales. I know that when Amazon dropped that early access screenings, I went there as soon as it dropped and I could not get tickets. Like it was hours later when I was finally able to get a ticket. And even then I kept getting an error because it would show that those tickets were available or that the seats were available when they actually weren't. So I had to wait like a few hours after it became available. Like it really, I know that Fantastic Four put out there, or not Fantastic Four, but some media outlets put out there that Fantastic Four like broke Fandango and ticket places. Like this legitimately did. This one legitimately broke it because I could not get tickets to save my life. And thank goodness that I'm going solo because I was able to find a ticket in a sea of people going to see this movie on Wednesday. So, or on the Wednesday opening.
I still don't think I'm going to see this in theaters. I might sail the seas for it because nothing about it has drawn me to this. Now, anything could change between now and July 11th, but right now, I'm not.
I don't like any of the trailers that they're putting out. I at this point, let me go to their Twitter. Like I'm not feeling any of the trailers. You know what's getting me is like the little shorts that they're putting out showing David Cornsweet like, you know, working out and talking about like Superman getting into shape for the role, or when they put out that little short with like the kids on set. That was actually pretty cool. I liked those behind the scenes when they're doing what's his name? Lex Luthor. Those were pretty cool. For whatever reason, all the stuff coming from the actual movie, I'm just like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I like certain things, but it's just not. It's not getting me.
Nothing's
it's not getting me really excited.
And nothing's really clicking for me. That's the problem. Like it's like, for me to even have any amount of hype for a movie, there has to be something that's like tells me I absolutely have to see it in theaters. Basically, like there's something about this movie where it's like Godzilla -1. There's no way like you could say like, oh, it's fine if you don't see it in theaters. Basically, that's a movie that absolutely had to be seen on the big screen, in my opinion. And I could see all that just from the trailers. Like I was hyped. Like when you saw his scales basically light up as he's getting ready to shoot his atomic breath, I was hooked. I'm in. 20 years later, I love the trailers. I was in, basically. You're muted. You're still muted. You're still muted. You're muted.
Dang it. I was saying, yeah, the trailer for 28 Days Later is so good. I still want to go and see that movie. I need to go and see that movie. I need to go and see that movie. But yeah, that trailer was really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is the latest thing from Superman. Here, let me show you.
Okay. Here, I'll just stop sharing the screen because that, like, that's what I have.
You know who's getting me excited to see Superman is the Lex Luthor character. What's his name?
Nicholas Hoult is a good actor. Nicholas Hoult is a good actor.
Nicholas Hoult, yes.
Yeah. So
I like Nicholas Hoult.
Superman, I'll destroy you. Your obsession with me.
That's a pretty cool shot, though. Look at that.
Obsession with me is getting a little creepy.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Rated PG-13 in theaters everywhere July 11th.
What do you think about that? Your obsession with me is getting pretty creepy.
I mean, it could be a funny line in context, but like I said, nothing is really. I don't know. Nothing is saying like it's like Song Jay said. Like there's no FOMO. Like there's no fear of missing out for me. If I don't see it in theaters, I'll be like, I feel like I'll be fine. So
I can't remember.
I'm not trying to take that away from anyone who wants to see it in theaters. By the way, Chad, I'm not trying to if you want to see it in theaters, I'm fine with that. I'm just saying that like nothing is grabbing me. Nothing is grabbing me.
I want a good Superman movie. I want a good Superman movie. I'm hoping that the trailers are just crap and then the movie's actually really good. Nicholas Hoult as Lex is I love it. He's a great actor. I think he will do really well. From what I'm seeing in the trailer, like he's the only thing that I'm excited for. But David Cornsweet as Superman, as Clark Kent. I know some people don't like his Clark Kent hair, but I don't mind it. I think it's fine.
The hair is fine. I have a problem with the costume because I'm like, why am I seeing it look so ill-fitting on him?
Yeah, at first I forgave the ill-fitting because I was like, oh well, they'll just fix it. But still, in the trailers, it still doesn't look like quite.
That's a problem I had. Hair is fine.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think he'll make a great Superman. I'm just from what I'm seeing from the trailers. I'm not getting Superman. You know what I mean? I'm not even getting Clark Kent. I don't know.
I don't. That's what I said. Like that's why I said like nothing is grabbing me. It's a Superman movie, and Superman should be the draw, basically. And when I'm looking at him, going, he's fine. That's not a draw. I should be going like I have to like Henry Cavill. I was like, okay, that's like the trailers for Man of Steel. I was like, okay, that's something I haven't seen necessarily before. All right, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna watch that movie. This one, it's like I feel like I could watch this movie and feel like I've watched it in a plethora of other movies before this. Like nothing is standing out as original in this movie.
Trey says, imagine if this is worse than Superman Returns. I recently watched Superman Returns again because I hadn't watched that movie in quite a while. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. And you know what? It might be because our latest batch of superhero movies sucks. So in comparison to that, Superman Returns was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
It was pretty entertaining. I don't like the climax of that movie though. It's pretty lame. But I don't
I don't think anyone really likes the climax of that movie.
Yeah. This was another thing. Hold on. another marketing thing that they've been doing a lot of this. The cast. Look, hold on.
Get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
So short.
They've been doing a lot of behind the scenes like that. Like I like
cute.
it.
It's cute.
It's adorable. You know what it is? And I think some people call it cringe. They're like, what are they doing? It's TikTok marketing.
Yeah.
When you take this out of where it's supposed to go, which is on TikTok, it seems really cringe and weird. But when you realize that this is for TikTok, this is for the audience on TikTok, for that younger generation, this is how they sort of market to them, because they use like TikTok trends, TikTok sounds, TikTok, what do you call them? I can't remember what they're called. Anyways, that it makes sense within the scope and realm of TikTok. You're getting that younger group to try and like cling on to this. They did the same thing a little bit with like Minecraft. So it makes sense, but when you put it like on Twitter, even if you put it on Instagram, it's like, what is this? What are they doing? It seems really weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it makes sense from, if you look at it from that perspective, like, oh, it's TikTok marketing. It makes sense over there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of movies are doing it. A lot of movies are doing it. They're trying to replicate that TikTok success with from Minecraft. So they're starting to market a lot, like heavily on TikTok. And this is what you pretty much have to do. It's just simple, ridiculous, cringy type of marketing that doesn't make sense outside the realm of TikTok.
Pretty much.
I like that. Oh my god, look at they're dressed up. They're in Manila.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all Manila! So cool. Stuff like this. Let's go. You've seen the toys at Target? I have too. I've seen a couple of Superman toys at Target. I think they look really bad. Yep.
See, like when I when I say like I have no hope for this film, I'm not trying to make it seem like I hope the movie fails. I want the movie to be
good.
I want it to be good. I'm just going off of like basically the red flags in the they're like red flags in the trailers. I think it's so convoluted, so bloated with characters when it should have been focused on Superman, Lex Luthor. If you're gonna have a villain, basically Lex Luthor, maybe like one or two henchmen from Lex Luthor, something like keep it. Basically, the premise for a first movie should be the acronym KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, because it's a semi-origin story, so you're going to want to grow with these characters. You're going to want to set up a foundation, and then you can start adding other characters and build up to like Brainiac. Why the fuck is Brainiac in this movie? Like, what's he doing? While Superman is Brainiac is destroying the city. In the distance, and Superman is having a heart-to-heart with Lois Lane. Like, Superman should be flying out the window to go after Brainiac at that point when he's destroying the city. I'm seeing that in the trailer, going, "What the fuck is going on?"
I mean, we only have the trailers to go on. From the trailers, it looks like an incredibly bloated movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then they could just be showing us. They are showing us snippets from the movie. Like, I'm really, really trying to have just a little bit of optimism towards this movie, because I actually want it to do well, because I want more DC.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're going to get more DC under James Gunn, but I want like more DC. Not only do I want more DC movies, but I want good DC movies. So I want this movie to be good, and I want it to be successful. Because like from the past, if it's not successful, they stop it. Like, they pull it. We've seen that.
Yeah.
So like,
they pulled Batgirl before they even released it. So it's like they'll do it if it doesn't look like it's going to make any money. So,
but like, this one looks incredibly bloated, yes, but at the same time, we don't know how long these characters are going to be in the movie, or how often. Like, what length of time, how much screen time do they get? How much do they pull away or take, pull from Superman screen time? We don't know because we're just seeing the trailers. So I'm just trying to have a little bit of optimism, and maybe, James Gunn is showing us all of these characters, but they're not going to be in it for a very long time. It's more to like get you hyped to go see the movie. So they're showing you all the characters. So he can get butts and seats like that. That's how I'm trying to look at it, because I'm trying to be optimistic because I really want this movie to be good. If I'm going, like, if I'm basing this off of James Gunn's projects, I liked the Guardians movies, and that's not a comic that I ever watched or that I ever read or was ever into, but I liked the movies. The movies were good, even the second one. He can write really good moments. However, on the other side, I hope he doesn't put too much humor in there, because there's a difference between like Marvel humor and DC humor. It is very different.
And not to go into like, Suicide Squad, but that's one of the biggest problems I had with the Suicide Squad movie, because he was trying to bring Marvel humor to DC. Where it did not work. That's also a reservation I have with this movie, because I enjoyed the Suicide Squad movie, but again, the humor, I was just like, it was just way too much of that, and that's the thing that I am, and Starro. And that's one of my reservations for this. Like, I don't want it to be super humorous, like overly, but I also don't want it. I want there to be a good medium, because I don't want it to be like so humorous that it's like, oh, good, there's James Gunn isms all over there. But I don't want it to be too serious, where it's on the complete opposite of the spectrum. And it doesn't look like that's the case in this. At least not on the serious side. I'm not sure about the humor. That's where it's iffy. Remember message from Mike Nuss? Thank you so much.
Zack Snyder stuff, though, I really liked it. I loved the contrast between DC and Marvel. How DC was a bit darker than Marvel was. It was a nice contrast, and I really enjoyed those movies. But whatever.
I love how people were complaining about how dark DC was. I'm like, have you actually read any DC? Like, it's
to be fair, I think that Superman and Flash, they're a lot brighter.
They can be bright. Those are the two I know that can be brighter, basically. But like people were going, oh, these Batman movies are so dark. I'm like, have you fucking read Batman? Like ignore the Adam West era. Basically, Batman is dark.
I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic for this movie. I really am. I want to go in and I want to watch it and I want to like it. But
my guidance would be to make them period pieces, no modern stories, no politics, and no overlapping plots. I would agree with you there. Problem with the modern day writers is that they can only tell stories in modern day because they have no creativity. That's the problem with writers, and most writers in Hollywood nowadays. They have no level of creativity, nor any capacity to actually do any research to say, hey, how about we set this in like the 30s or 40s. So let's do some research to see what was happening in the 1930s and 40s that would be relevant to what is going on with our superhero or what have you, basically. They don't have the fucking capacity to even remotely put any effort into that. So they adapt it for modern audiences because that's their level of creativity. There you go. Unfortunately, but I do agree with you there, Mike Noss. Should be the case, but it's not always. Never really going to be the case with current writers nowadays. So
did you see this? Look, this was cute. This is this is David Cornsweat's real dog.
Oh, it's so cute.
I love it. It's a King Charles Spaniel. Those are the cutest dogs ever. I love Spaniels. Cocker Spaniels, King Charles Spaniels, they're freaking adorable.
David's got a dog.
Oh, Ira.
Oh, look at that.
Hi. This is Ira. Hi, Ira.
He's wearing a Superman costume.
That's a good boy.
Yeah, that's Superman. Ira, come here.
Look at him! I mean, come on, this marketing right here. That's working on me. This is so cute. Like, this is so cute. It's because I'm a girl and there's a dog. That's why.
I love dogs. I love dogs more than I like people, so that hooks me.
I know. I freaking love dogs. Look at him, it's so cute. Look at his boot. Look at how thick his boot is. It doesn't look like it fit. Look at his trunks. Look
Yeah,
at
I know.
that.
I'm
Look
saying
at
we should
look
not
at
see.
how
We should not see any ill-fitting areas on that costume. I don't know.
God, what? It looks like rubber. It looks
The
like it's
dogs-
made out of rubber.
The dog suit fits better than the
looks
human
like-
costume.
Steph's checking out his chubby. No, I went from the booth and then I started making my way up. And so I saw his trunks, and then I made my way up further and saw this part right here on his stomach. It looks like he's wearing a wetsuit. Like it's rubber.
No, I get you.
Man.
I get you.
I don't know. I just looked at the boot and I saw this space in here and I was like, the heck?
You have a dog?
Crypto. I'm here for Ira. Look at him. He's so precious.
I like crypto. I like crypto. It's not going to be enough to bring me into the theater, but like I said, I like dogs more than I like people. So I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, we have the Super Pets movie. I did enjoy that movie, but I'm like, do a live action movie of just crypto and I'll be fine. No humans.
Dude.
Like he fights bad guys. Just give me that crypto, basically.
Super Pets was such a great movie. It was like it was shockingly good.
It
made good.
The Rock enjoyable to listen to, like his
I
characters.
know, and Kevin Hart. It made both of them enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
I was actually shocked at how much heart that movie had, especially with oh my gosh, I can't remember Kevin Hart's dog's name.
Ace?
I can't remember his name.
Ace?
Was
Is
it
it Ace? I think it's Ace.
Yeah, with him. I was just like, oh my gosh.
I almost cried in that scene. Like when they're having the little heart to heart. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Shit.
There's Ira. He's adorable. Good little puppy. A little puppy.
You were out there helping them?
I thought I was. They've always been wrong about me. I get scared, but that is being human.
But that's
Except you're not human. I'm like
characteristics of a superhero, though.
Except you're not human, basically. But
Yeah,
again,
you're
you're
not
raised by
human.
humans. You're raised by humans, so you do have
He's scared. I
yeah.
can't wait for him to protect us. He's scared.
He's scared.
I can't wait for him to be a protector. Oh my gosh. I need to pull up the photo of this, but from Superman Returns, because what's her name is wearing the pencil. I think she's wearing like a pencil skirt or something. It looks so much better. So much, and she's barefoot. It looks so much better than these pants and these chunky man shoes.
What is with the man shoes? I mean, even Miss Congeniality made fun of that. So
I'm telling you,
ironically
it's reality. They're going Gracie Hart, these big, thick Gracie Hart shoes. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, the point of that movie was to make fun of that look and not like unironically put an actress into that look.
He sounds so whiny.
I thought I was. They've always been wrong about me.
They've always been wrong about me. It sounds like he's fighting with his dad.
Mm-hmm. I want to know who's always been wrong about you. That's what I want to know. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Like who's this mysterious they or whatever you're talking about? Who's always been wrong?
I get scared.
I get scared.
Exactly what I want to find out from my hero.
Man, he's so whiny.
Except you're not human.
I don't know.
Anyway.
He sounds so whiny. Like I said, like these are, I mean, out of context of the movie, I need to know what's going on at this point in time because
you know what it makes me think of? Like when he says like he's gonna run up to his room, like it's not just a phase, Mom. That's what I feel like.
I forgot. There's a Lex Luthor one. Here, let me show you this one. Like outside the scope of the like out of context, these are really bad. It's just showing me a beat up, really whiny Superman, and that's not what I want to see. Here's a Lex Luthor one. I don't think I saw this one yet.
I haven't seen too many.
Your obsession with me is getting a little creepy.
Don't worry. Tall, dark, and Martian isn't my type.
Is
Tall,
he
dark, and
gay?
what? I hope to God I hope to God he's just like being facetious.
Is he gay?
Like,
are they gaying Lex Luthor? Are they making him gay?
I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping it's just like a facetious comeback. Like, yeah, you're not my type sort of situation.
Your obsession with me is getting a little creepy.
Don't worry. Tall, dark, and Martian isn't my type.
Tall, dark, and what?
Marshy.
Marshy? What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
Martian-y? Like a Martian? He's a Martian? Marshy? Is that
just say don't worry, you're not my type. Tall, dark, and Martian-y?
Is it no, he says marshy. What is marshy?
Martian?
Hold on,
Don't worry. Tall, dark, and Martian isn't my.
Oh, he says Martian.
Martian. Okay. Tall, dark, and Martian.
Tall, dark, and Martian isn't my type. Okay.
Still,
type.
That's James Gunn humor right there. That is James Gunn humor right there.
Oh, they are daddying up Lex Luthor.
Seth wants to say daddy.
This is for TikTok.
Yeah,
this is what you do. They are dadding up Lex Luthor.
Your obsession with me is getting a little creepy.
Don't worry. Tall, dark, and Martian isn't my type.
Yeah, that's definitely the TikTok crowd. I see that shit on X.
They are dadding
that's TikTok shit.
up Lex Luthor. Do you know how many TikToks I've seen of Pedro Pascal?
I don't want to know.
Yeah, but it's the Daddy's Home song. I'm surprised they didn't put that song right here with him.
I'm thankful they didn't.
Oh my God. Daddy Lex. That's what they're going for. They're going for Daddy Lex. I gotta see if they put that like in one of their hashtags on TikTok. Honestly, I need to look that up.
Anyway.
No freaking way are they dadding up Lex. I need to look it up. I'm looking it up now. I'm going to TikTok.
So, moving on from Superman, like I said, basically sum up, I have no hope. I don't want it to be bad. I want it to be good, but right now I have no hope. I saw 28 Years Later. I'm really not going to go into spoilers, but I brought this. I'm going to bring this article up because for those who have seen 28 Years Later, the sequel is actually only 7 months away. I did not realize this. So I guess they must have filmed the movies close to each other because they dropped 28 Years Later this past Friday, the 20th. And in January, roughly around January time frame, 7 months away, is going to be a sequel. So you're not going to have that long of a wait. And I'm going to say this. I was not wild about the ending. It came across as weird. Very fucking weird. And it did not seem to fit, in my opinion, the tone set before. Basically, the tone of the entire movie. But I'm kind of going to give it a pass. Only because it's a sequel. I think the plan is for this 28 Years Later story to span over a trilogy, basically. So we're going to get a sequel coming out in January and then another one rounding out the 28 Years Later story, basically. So it felt random, basically. It felt random, the ending scene. But as far as what I like, so I do like the movie. I like up until the ending, like I said, I'm giving the ending a pass. I'm not saying I hate the ending, but up until the ending, I do like the movie. It does change some things, I believe, from 28 Weeks Later because something was set up in 28 Weeks Later. I haven't seen that movie in a while. I know I've seen it. I can't remember it that well. But something was changed in this one, which I think works a bit better in terms of the plot for the rage virus and everything. And it also does introduce another mechanism for keeping those infected away from you. I don't want to say what it is because Ralph Fiennes' character, the one you see here in the picture, comes up with that. And there's a reason why he's colored like that. There's a reason why it's colored like that. Yeah, it's gonna be called Bone Temple. Let me see if I can show the picture of the Bone Temple without showing any spoilers. Here it is. Let me close this. So, like, this is where Ralph Fiennes' character has been residing. He's basically like you have it like, you know, basically Aaron Taylor Johnson's character has a wife played by Jodie Comer and a son. I don't know the actor's name who plays the son, basically, but the son's name is Spike. And they live on this little island that's connected to the mainland, like the mainland UK, because UK at this point has been quarantined off from Europe. So basically the entire island of like the United Kingdom, basically the entirety has been quarantined. So you can't really even get to the main continent. But their small group, they live on this little island that's only able to get, like, you can get to the mainland part of the, like, you know, like the mainland, as they call it, and cross this causeway when it's low tide, basically. Yeah, most of the virus has been eradicated. It's 28 years later, basically. Most of the virus has basically been eradicated, but it's also evolved in a way, basically. So the virus affects people in different ways. I don't want to say what it is, basically, but like kind of like it affects the physical characteristics of certain people, and in others, basically, they call them like the fasts or something like that, the fast ones. They're like, as their name dictates, they are fast, like you know, they will run at you, basically. So, and they've also developed a level of intelligence. They've also, hey, Multi, they've also introduced the concept of an alpha, basically. So basically, think of it like, if you know the story I Am Legend, basically, if you know the story I Am Legend, it's like basically those infected by the virus have evolved in a way that they've kind of created their own little hierarchy, in a sense.
Is it like oh my gosh, what is the Zack Snyder movie where they're in Las Vegas?
Oh, Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead?
Yeah, that one, like, not really, like, this does that better because this makes more sense than what Zack Snyder did. Because Zack Snyder, they're actual zombies. They die and they come back to life. So there's no fucking way they'd have the mental capacity to do anything like, you know, intelligence or even be able to procreate.
But they do procreate in that one.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be able to because they're supposed, like, they're living dead. Basically, they're dead. There's like should be no reproductivity in them. But this one, they're not zombies.
I assumed he was able to do that because he was like the main alpha zombie.
Yeah, but again, zombie, that's the whole word there. That's like what makes it like should not be able to do it because the reproductivity dies with the body. So zombies should not be able to procreate. In this case, they're not zombies. They're just infected with the rage virus. But they've evolved into like a hierarchy, kind of like how wolves have their own little hierarchy within their packs. Basically, there's an alpha, and the alpha has a mate and so forth, and they have like their own little structure, basically. That's how they've kind of evolved in terms. And the reason why procreation makes sense in this case is because they're not zombies. They get infected, but they still have their working innards. You know, you can kill them by shooting them in the heart and the head. Where zombies, you have to do a headshot like that. Headshot. Mm-hmm. That's the only way to kill them. In this case, it can be killed basically by either headshot, neck shot, bleeding out, or heart, which makes them not zombies. So they're just infected. Yeah, Army of the Dead was a fucking terrible movie. It's a fucking terrible movie. Anyway,
it was one of those movies you throw on and do house chores.
I've seen it once, and I was like, I'm good. I'm good. Like when it got to that twist, basically the fucking twist and the reason why like they were sent in, the real reason why they were sent in, I'm like, come the fuck on. Going through all that elaboration, and really it's just for fucking anyway, moving on, basically. But like I said, I don't want to say too much, basically. I don't want to say too much because there is a reason why Spike and his mom, Jodie Comer plays Spike's mom, basically. I can't remember the kids actors who play Spike, basically, but like he takes his mom to the mainland, and there's a reason why he takes her to the mainland. I don't want to say too much because if you do want to see it, if you do want to see this movie, I would recommend going to see it at least once in the theaters. The ending, I'm only going to say this about the ending again. It doesn't exactly come out of nowhere. It just feels so tonally different in how it's filmed, like how it's acted and so forth. And it feels like it's like they plucked a scene from another movie and tacked it onto the end of this one. So it just makes it feel weird. It kind of makes it feel weird. They could have ended it with like Spike meeting a certain character, which is what happens. I don't want to say who that character is. Like meeting him and just ending it there as a little teaser for what we're to expect in the next movie.
I heard there's a lot of pee in this movie.
Well, like the infected are naked, yeah. So there's no way you miss the full frontals for every fucking one. For every fucking one, they're all naked.
There's a lot of chubbies.
Yeah, a lot of chubbies, pretty much. Like there's no way you could miss anything. There's no way you could miss anything. So yeah.
Looking at comments on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
He wants that cookie bad. Talking about Lex Luthor and Superman.
Oh god. Okay, I'm wondering like what you're talking about. Like, are you talking like are these TikTok videos for 28 years later and like the alpha?
No.
Like, you want that cookie bad?
I told you. I was gonna look at TikTok to see how they're reacting to that Lex Luthor one. He wants that cookie bad. Yeah,
Oh
this
my
dude's gonna
God.
baby trap Superman.
Yeah.
He said before proceeding to have his kid, knowing full well he's gonna make Clark his baby mama.
Oh my god. Anywho.
Happy Pride.
If someone
it says Gen Z is cooking with this marketing, so they like it. They like this type of marketing.
yeah.
I'm telling you, this is TikTok marketing. That's perfect for them.
On that note, like a little bit on this note, ladies and gentlemen, again, if the Gronk Squad channel reaches at least 350 this stream, I will put the dress on I wore for my cousin's wedding. So if you're not subbed to the Gronk Squad, Lethal Lightning, Mazza, Nasmer, John Connors, the Creamnado, Extra Zero, do gaming streams here. They also drop premiere videos of the games they play offline, like Monster Hunter Wilds and so forth. They just recently did a stream where they played the Dead by Daylight DLC of Five Nights at Freddy's, and they'll be doing a stream later on this week, playing this new Siege mode in Space Marine 2. So if it reaches at least 350 this stream, it's like 2 away from 350 subscribers. I will wear the dress I wore to my cousin's wedding this past Friday, and it's a dark red color. It's a dark red color.
Nice.
Yeah.
So are they lovers? Are they lovers? Make them kiss.
Oh no! Please stop. Please.
Happy
stop.
Pride Month. #Klex.
Oh God.
That's their shipping name. DC, please give us Connor Kent. Oh, they want them to be the baby daddies so bad. And yes, Lex would be daddy because Clark is the baby mama.
I agree with you here, Trey. I'd give it around an 8 out of 10. Like the ending, I don't want to say the ending kills it. Why am I losing my voice? I don't want to say the ending kills it, but it does kind of like knock it down a couple points or so.
This person said, make them boyfriends.
Cam is not going to be on Last Toxic Male. Shush your mouth. I'm going to go full Brienne on you from IO Showcase. Shush your mouth. Cam will be off.
Diva Lex Luthor.
Anyway. I'd say I would agree with you there. I saw your message, Trey, but I didn't have a chance to respond. I would say as far as entertainment goes, Final Destination Bloodlines, I think, was a bit more entertaining. But like I said, this is the first movie in a trilogy, so it is like the foundation, so it's kind of a build-up. So the way I describe trilogies, basically the metaphor I use, or whatever you want to call it, basically, it's like going into a tunnel. It's like going into a tunnel. So basically, it's going to start light and end dark, essentially. It's kind of what it did. Start light, end dark. The second movie, I'm hoping, basically, is like full dark. When I say full dark, I mean in tone, because you're right in the middle of the tunnel. So it's really no light on either end, basically. So I'm hoping it's like, fully dark in tone. And then the third one, dark, and then gradually become light, essentially, because you're exiting a tunnel. So hopefully there's a relatively, doesn't necessarily have to be a happily ever after, but at least a positive, kind of a positive note. So we'll see.
Plex is so back. Just kiss already.
Stop.
Come on, sassy Luther. Who is this diva?
Who the fuck's a sassy Luther? One away, chat on the Gronk Squad channel. Thank you so much.
Tell that to Connor. Superboy loading.
As long as she's not writing it. As long as she's not writing it and just directing, I'll be fine. As long as like Danny Boyle and Alex Garland have like at least final say, I'll be okay with it.
Padre Daddy.
Oh,
Does
God.
Lex know it's legal now?
How about we go from DC into Marvel just a little bit? Do you want to talk about Daredevil Born Again and how they weren't allowed to watch the original Netflix series, or the new Fantastic Four popcorn buckets?
I want to see the new popcorn bucket. What does it look like?
Here you go, Steph. Fantastic Four popcorn bucket is really stretching it. This.
Is that his penis?
It's his arm. It's not a chubby. Damn, girl. I'm supposed to be the one with the head of my mind in the gutter. That's his arm.
Look at
Is
the
that
angle.
Did he stretch out his penis around the popcorn buckets?
Hey, he can.
I know,
He's
he can
Mr.
stretch.
Fantastic,
He can
ma'am.
stretch, I know. He's Mr. Fantastic. Your mind went there? Anyway.
Look at where it's below his belt.
It's
okay.
Let me see if there's another picture in this article. Let me see I'm gonna see if I can maybe find.
I'm living in the gutter right now.
Yeah, you are. Chubby. Let's see.
It's the angle. I'm
Yeah,
looking for it.
Let's see if I can. Hold on.
That's disgusting. Disgusting. Disgusting film. Hold on, wait.
Share screen. Let's see if I can get like this right here. See, like it's not below. The way the arm goes, it's like wrapped around like that. See, that's his right arm.
Oh.
So I think so you can see a better picture. Like that's how it looks.
Here, I'm sharing my screen. This is creepy as hell.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
That is that is creepy. Nobody's gonna buy that. No one's gonna buy this popcorn bucket. One, it's Pedro Pascal. Like, no, thank you. But two, this is a creepy popcorn bucket. Like, just give me the thing's head, or Johnny's flame, or like a fire or something. This is it costs $40, by the way. This is creepy. This is probably the creepiest popcorn bucket I've ever seen.
Oh, we hit 350 subs. Like I said, at least 350. If we get more, I appreciate it before the end of the stream. But while Steph is entertaining you with her thoughts on the popcorn bucket, I'm going to change into the dress. So I'm going to go off camera and mute myself. And you'll see me in my dress.
Just putting on her dress. This is a creepy popcorn bucket. Like, look, I can understand this one. This one is cool. Is it $80 cool? No. All it does is have like the eyes turn on, and it's huge, yes, but still, it's not worth $80. Okay, I don't care if it's over 17 inches tall. I could give a fuck. All right, there are some great popcorn buckets that are not $80. Like the what is it? The Darth Vader one. It breathed like Darth Vader. That is cool. This one just turns his eyes on. I don't care. And this one is the creepiest one I've ever seen. This is a creepy popcorn bucket. I guarantee nobody's gonna buy this. Like, if someone buys this, these are gonna be the ones that, like, when I go to the theater, there's a shelf. Okay, there's a shelf next to the concession stand that has all of the popcorn buckets that just aren't selling, or the ones that didn't sell. That shelf's gonna have a ton of these. It's going to be on sale on the website because nobody's going to buy it. Like when I went to the theater, that shelf after Snow White came out, that shelf was full of the Snow White popcorn buckets because no one was buying it. It had the hammer. What else did it have? It had what was the other Marvel movie that came out that like nobody went and saw and there was a popcorn bucket for it? Holy shit. It had, oh my god, I can't remember what movie that was. I think it was the Thunderbolts actually. It had Thunderbolts stuff. It wasn't the Thunderbolts. It was the one before the Thunderbolts. What? I don't remember. Anyways, like that's where this is going to end up. This is creepy. And can you imagine like if the popcorn bucket comes off, like if you can detach, because some of these you can detach them, right? And all you see is like a freaking arm. The Thunderbolts limo. Yeah, I've seen that one before. This is a creepy popcorn bucket. Ew.
This is the dress.
Mara.
See?
She looks pretty.
See? So, this is the dress. And I will wear this for the rest of the stream. So this is what I wore to my cousin's wedding.
Like the Fantastic Car is cool. I would totally get the Fantastic Car. Not really the Herbie. I don't care about that. If this wasn't so expensive, I would totally get the Galactus one.
That looks cool.
Yeah, but I might get the car. I don't even think I'll get the car. I probably will pass on all of this stuff actually. Mm-hmm. But this is definitely the creepiest popcorn bucket I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. This is going to end up on sale. In fact, let me look it up really quickly.
I'm fine with the Herbie. I'm not saying I would get it, but if I was inclined, I would get it. Just like put it on my shelf because I'm weird like that. I kind of like weirdly cute things. I'm not gonna do a handstand on my dress stand. So yeah. But this is my dress. So like I said, if we could reach at least 350 subscribers for the Gronk Squad channel, appreciate it. If we could get more, very much appreciate it. Because like I said, they are trying to get to 350 subscribers so they can reach monetization for that channel. It will help really help them out. So they do gaming streams. They have all the tisms. And they are very entertaining.
They have all the tisms.
Yeah, they have all the tisms. And Pedro, there's no way Pedro is straight.
No, look, it's gonna end up on the website on sale. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Right, because like this one coming soon, the Galactus one, right? But if you scroll down a little bit, you see the Gladiator 2 one. It's 60% off. It's $5. It's Mufasa, $12. That's where it's gonna end up. It's gonna end up on sale for $5. Nobody's gonna want it. Nobody's gonna buy it. It's just gonna end up.
The Terrifier 3 is still at like the original asking price, and something like Gladiator 2.
I actually think this one's sold out. Yeah, it's sold out. That's why it's still there. So is this one. This one's sold out, so it still has the original price. But these aren't sold out. Nobody bought these. Nobody cares. So they're on clearance. $5. Can you imagine? You went to see Gladiator. You bought the popcorn bucket, and you can get it for that. Is this one? Yeah. See, this one's sold out as well. Oh, this is pre-order. Never mind. $50 for this? Hell no. I don't care if it's flocked. $80.
I wouldn't get the Terrifier one. It was good, but I wouldn't get it. So,
gosh.
But hey, Ms. Mara Muses, speaking of D&D, one of my D&D partners in crime, very much appreciate it. So,
what do they have for Jurassic World? They have a cute Loungefly. That's a cute Loungefly.
Let me see. I'm not going to see Jurassic World, but Loungefly does have cute stuff. So, what do they have for that? Like a purse or something, or
it's a backpack.
Okay, that's pretty cute.
Yeah, if you open it up, look, a Velociraptor. That's cute. It doesn't have the Tardosaurus on there.
At least it's a Velociraptor.
Look at that, the eyeball.
Or a raptor, I should say. But that looks cute. I'll admit that looks cute. I'm not going to see the movie. But
I kind of want to see it. Look at this one. Look at the nasty.
The Mongoloid Rex.
Yeah. Distortus Rex?
Yeah,
Did
Distortus.
they
basically.
change the name? Wasn't
No,
it something different?
No, they were toying with other names, but they settled on Distortus Rex. I remember we were talking about it. I'm like, you had how many names you could choose from, and you choose one that like sounds like a Down syndrome dinosaur.
That's right. The D-Rex.
Yeah.
This one looks fucking weird. Titanosaurus.
Well, I think it's an actual
Why is his
dinosaur.
face like that?
It looks weird, but like that's an actual dinosaur, so Titanosaurus.
Yeah, but still, it looks weird. There's the
Mosasaurus.
Mosasaurus. The Spinosaurus.
Pelops.
I love the Spinosaurus.
Pelops, Quetzalcoatlus, Spinosaurus, Ankylosaurus,
Ankylosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And then a mug. They don't have a popcorn bucket? That's weird. I thought they did. How to Train Your Dragon. I want to see. Oh, look, I love How to Train Your Dragon. They have a cup.
Speaking of that, real fast, I know like you saw the live action movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that?
I enjoyed it. I know that there's people that do not. There are things that I don't like about it. I was talking about it this morning.
Mm-hmm.
With Max, because I did like our craft Lego streams in the morning, and I was talking to him about it because he did not like it. He thought it was bad. And he said he is a fan of the original, and I am too. I'm a fan of the whole trilogy. I've watched the Netflix show. I've watched one of the Netflix shows, the Race to the Edge one, not the other one. And I've watched all of like the straight to Netflix movies as well, with like the Christmas one being my favorite one. But I'm a huge fan of it. And I can say, here's what I'll say about that movie. There are things that I loved, and there are things that I didn't like and that didn't make sense. With that being said, they did not change a lot in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Motivations for what's her name? For Astrid, I didn't like one thing that she says to Hiccup because it felt so out of character, felt way out of nowhere, out of left field. And it didn't make sense for her character that we've grown, or that we've grown to love.
Yeah.
That with that being said, they didn't stray like all of these other live action remakes do from the original, from the heart of the original. All of that is still there. And I will say this, like, look, we can say, why do these even exist? There's no reason for them to exist. Okay, fine. I would love for them to stop making live action movies of all of these beloved IPs, but they're doing it, right? They're doing it. There's no stopping it. They're going to do it. Especially like Disney, now that they see how successful Lilo and Stitch was, and with Moana coming out, and that will probably be successful as well. They're going to say, oh, live action remakes are back on the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Disney remakes are changing those movies so drastically that they are shadows of what the originals were, right?
Yeah.
This one at least is still shot for shot very close to the original. And if we're complaining about how they completely strayed from what the original movie was and they completely changed it, you know, and we have a problem with that, saying they should have just kept it like the original, it would have been fine. And then this movie goes and does that, right? It's pretty much shot for shot. The heart is still there. And then it's like, oh, it's too close to the original. So what's the point in even going and watching it? Like,
that's how I feel, basically. It's like, if it's going to be a shot for shot live action remake, then why do it? Just have people like, just have like, hey, re-release the originals in theaters, basically.
Yeah. And you can go and do that. You can go and watch the original. I certainly watched the trilogy before and after I watched this movie, but it's like they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. I enjoyed this because I am of the mindset of if you're going to continue doing these live action remake movies, which, let's be real, they are going to do that, then try and make it as close to the original as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they pretty much did that here. There are things that they added that I don't like it. I don't like the casting of Astrid, of Rough Nut, of Fish Legs, like the Fire Brigade. The Fire Brigade, aside from Tough Nut, is completely miscast. Like, I don't like the casting of them, right? the casting is explained in the movie as like, oh, well, you know, we're Vikings. We sailed to all of these other lands and brought the best warriors to our land. And they've clearly assimilated to Viking culture because they're not, it's not like they brought them in and they're.
Well, that's not how Vikings worked.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah.
But that's how they explained the casting away. And so I'm like, okay, well, it kind of makes sense that like if these dragons are destroying them and killing them, they're not reproducing at the rate that they need to be to go up against all of these dragons, and they're being overrun. So they're going and searching for more people to come and help them. Like, okay, fine. Within that context, fine. I still don't like the casting, but fine. I'll go with you as far as like they explain that away. Okay, let's see what else is there with the story, and they pretty much kept it to the original. The other thing that I don't like is like the actors compared to the voice actors, it's very lackluster. It's very underwhelming. With the exception of Hiccup and Stoic, you know, even Gobber at some points is like hit or miss. The line delivery just doesn't hit as well as the animation does. And I feel like with animation, there's so much more that they can do, you know, with the way that the characters look and react. And, you know, it's very animated. So naturally the voices have to match that animation. Whereas live action, like it's not as, you know, animated. So it's toned down, but since you're so used to the animated version, this seems like really, really muted in comparison. So, with that, like I prefer the animation to that. And the other thing that I do not like is the motivation for Astrid that they gave her to become chief. That was never anything remotely close
she just wanted
to
to be
her
the top
character.
of the class. She just wanted to be top of the class.
She just wanted to be a conqueror, like a warrior. You know, she just wanted to slay dragons and be the best at it, and that was it. And she didn't respect Hiccup because he didn't have that warrior spirit, and he's the son of the chief, and he should, and so she didn't respect him. And you know, and she gets upset because now he started doing things better than her, and she's like, what the heck, I'm supposed to be the best. I want to be the best. I want to be the one to kill the dragon at the end, you know. Whereas in the live action movie, she has that motivation, but then she has another motivation of her wanting to be chief, and she sort of implies to Hiccup like, I will do whatever it takes, like I will kill you and overthrow you and become chief, you know, because she doesn't think that he has what it takes.
A bitch.
I didn't like that part, and it wasn't. It was because it was so threatening, and Astrid was never threatening to Hiccup. She just didn't respect him. You know, she didn't like him. She didn't respect him, and she was curious as to what the hell, who is training you? Why are you being? Why are you beating me? Essentially,
how all of a sudden have you gotten this good when like you barely hold your shield the first lesson? Basically.
So then when her turn comes, you know, when the turn comes and she starts to realize like, oh my gosh, you know, Hiccup shows her a different way and she's got his back. That turn comes out of nowhere because she has they gave her this other motivation to be that she wants to become chief, and she threatens Hiccup, you know. In the live action, or I'm sorry, in the animated movie, it kind of there's kind of like a subtlety when she's on the rock and she's sharpening her axe, when she's talking to Hiccup about like, you know, you're running off. Are you training? Who's training you? You know, there's kind of that subtle threat where she's sharpening her axe and then she kind of like picks it up, but it's never played as I'm going to kill you. And this it's kind of played as it's a legitimate threat to Hiccup.
Yeah, it's basically like, I'm going to find out what's going on. Like you know, she tries to follow him at one point in the animated movie, the first animated movie, because she's trying to figure out where he's going, like who's training him, like what, like, you know, how are you learning this fast? Never in terms of like.
It wasn't super threatening.
I'm with Trey. Like that makes her a villain. Like that's literally a villain arc, basically, to give her like.
Well, it's like the beginning of a villain story.
Oh yeah, like the beginning.
But she was threatening, and she was never. Astrid was never threatening like that. She was just frustrated.
Yeah.
So with that small part, and it's literally like maybe 3 to 5 minute scene out of the entire movie that I didn't like, that's what like this one thing that they added to her character, maybe like 15 minutes before she, you know, gets on Hiccup's side. So yeah, that addition didn't make sense, especially considering she's later on, because they've already greenlit How to Train Your Dragon 2 live action. Later on, Astrid becomes Hiccup's sort of support. She is his support system.
Yeah.
And later on, she goes from being this warrior who wants to kill and slay dragons to Hiccup's wife, and she has his kids. She takes care of his kids, and she's very, motherly towards these children. So it's I don't know if they added that so her turn can be even more dramatic, or if they added that so that like later on, not only does she become Hiccup's wife, and like wife to the chief, because Hiccup becomes chief, like spoiler alert, but he does become the chief. And like, since she's going to be like the wife of the chief, there are certain things that like they don't really show us after Hiccup becomes chief. It goes from like Hiccup becoming chief, and him struggling with his chiefly duties, but Astrid like never assumes the role of chief or like tells him to do anything. She's just his support. So I don't know if they're going to change it a little bit to where she's actually telling him what he should be doing as chief later on, because she wanted to become chief. Like that's the one thing that I'm thinking about giving her that motivation, because she just ends up becoming his wife, and she ends up loving Hiccup. She goes from not respecting this sort of clumsy boy to loving him and becoming his wife and deeply respecting him, and she becomes his support system. So yeah, like I just don't like that they gave her that small little motivation. It's literally a small motivation that was never mentioned. It made absolutely zero difference on the movie. That's it. It made zero difference on the movie. It's just something she says and is never referenced later on.
Well, here's the super chat question.
So it's like, what's the point of even adding that in there?
So there was a side story with Snotlouse, basically, and his father.
I actually liked that. So like his dad is actually in the animated movie. Like if you look for him, you will see him. It's not like he has this huge part, but he's always there, near or around Stoic. You can see him. But they added that in there, and that was actually kind of cool. I like that they did that. Because like there are points in the movie, I think like is it the second movie? I don't know, where he talks to his dad, but his dad like never says anything to him. He just sort of walks away. I think it's in the second movie. Maybe the third, I don't remember. So they could be setting that up. But yeah, he like talks to his dad. His dad just walks away. Doesn't say anything to him. Was that in the first movie? I don't remember. I have to rewatch it. But yeah, I love that they added that in there. That was actually really cute. I like that. But with all that being said, yes, I didn't like that small little motivation that they gave Astrid, because it serves absolutely zero purpose within the entirety of the movie. They just put that in there just to put it in there. I love that they got back Gerard Butler to play Stoic. He's pretty much the only one. I hope they get Cate Blanchett to come back.
I was going to ask you if they'll get Cate Blanchett back to play.
I hope they get her back to play Hiccup's wife, because I mean she looks or Hiccup's mom. Because she looks like her. Like you could totally do it. They probably won't though. I love that they got the original director back. He did an interview that I watched that said like, they're going to make the movie, and I didn't want anybody else to make this movie, because like it's pretty much his baby. And you can tell that I think that's why this movie is a lot different than the Disney ones, the Disney live action movies, because they got the original director to come back, and he made changes, yes, but it wasn't as much as the live action Disney movies, because they got like all these different directors to come and make these live action. They want to put their own stamp on it, and change it and be like, oh, we did this and it's going to be great. And, they want to put their own stamp on the movie and make sure that they're the ones that made those changes. Right. Whereas this one, he just wanted to do it because those are his movies. He didn't want anybody touching his movies, and he wants to make sure that they stay true to the original and the heart of these movies. And I think that they succeeded in that. Do they need to exist? No. But what live action movie does need to exist? However, if
None
you're going
really.
to make them, if you're going to make them, and let's be real, they're going to continue to make these stupid movies. I would like to not be disappointed when I go and see that. I thought that Lilo and Stitch was going to be super close to the original Lilo and Stitch, and it wasn't. They changed a lot of it, and it pissed a lot of people off. Whereas this one, they kept it very true to the original animated movie. So if you're going to do it, keep it to the original. It's what we've been saying, and they did that in this movie. So that's pretty much why I like it. I mean, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think like the original was based on a book series.
It was, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so again, thank you, Chad, for hanging out with us. So she saw How to Train Your Dragon while like we were all on hiatus a little bit. I saw 28 Years Later. So the last part of like the final season of Squid Games drops this Friday. I'll likely be watching it. I'll probably binge it or try to binge it. If not the day it drops, then the day after, because I'm not planning on streaming on Saturday. But again, chats, before we go into the next article, if you have not done so and you love watching gamers that have how I say all the tisms, if you're just joining the stream, appreciate you subbing to this channel and helping them out to reach 500 subscribers so they can get monetized on this channel. They do, like I said, gaming streams. They drop premiere videos of them playing games offline, like Monster Hunter Wilds, and so forth, and drop shorts and everything. So I do appreciate dropping a sub there. If you have not done so already, appreciate it, because helping out Lethal Lightning, Mazza, John Connors, Criminado, Nasmer, and Extra Zero with everything they do over there. I'm waiting to see how the last season goes before I give my final thoughts, because if I were to give my final thoughts on what we've gotten so far with the last season, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Because nothing's resolved. Plot points are set up with no resolution whatsoever, but they split. I find out they split it up, basically. So we'll see what the final season brings. It could change my mind. It maybe won't change my mind. I don't know. I like the first season. The first season should have been a one and done season, in my opinion. Should have been a one and done. But they left it open, for a second season. So I was like, okay, fine. Let's see what they do. I was not impressed with what they dropped for season 2. Oh gosh, Steph, why are you sharing that?
What? Also, what popcorn, How to Train Your Dragon popcorn bucket did I get? I didn't get one because I have one from Universal. It's perfect. So I didn't get one.
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller's back. Mara, look at Ezra.
I know.
At Ezra.
I was like, why are you sharing
it
that?
says Ezra Miller just spawned at a film festival in Italy. Yeah. He's there to support some writer, director. I don't know. But this is what he wore.
Yeah. It looks like they drug him through the streets.
It looked like they found him.
They pulled him out of a homeless shelter.
It looked like they found him on the side of the street.
Yeah.
And then put him in a dress.
Yeah. That's like they pulled him out of a homeless shelter and put a dress on him. That is not what the fuck happened.
Look, I found more pictures of him. Hold on.
I'm not sharing this.
Look at him.
What's with the watermelons? Jesus. Anyway.
I had to look that up because I wasn't sure what the watermelon was, because he's wearing it in every picture.
Yeah.
He's got the watermelon.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a Palestine thing.
Oh, green, red, white, and black for the seeds. Fucking hell.
Yeah, because I had to look that up. I was like, why is he wearing a watermelon in every
I'm not
photo?
surprised. I'm not surprised.
And that's what that is.
Yeah, apparently. I'm not surprised then.
Yeah, Ezra. Are you excited to see him back?
No.
There's another photo of him, like, of this outfit. It goes all the way down to his ankles. It's a very long dress.
Yeah. Turkey greater than Palestine. Yeah, last toxic male. Looks like a trans Vlad the Impaler.
So apparently, like, the person that he was there to support, he is working with him and doing a lot of writing to try and make his Hollywood comeback.
Hold on. Well, I got a video clip for that. Hold on. Where are you? This one.
Golf clap? Golf clap.
Yeah.
He's
Golf
ready.
clap.
Look, you can see it in his eyes. He's ready for a comeback. Dude, he looks terrible.
Yes, he does.
He's crazy. The Mad Goose Wizard. Ezra Miller, aka the Bengal Ghouls, the Mad Goose Wizard.
Since I was talking about Squid Game, let's go back to that rather than the Ezra Miller abomination, because the showrunners come out and explained, at least try to give an explanation against the backlash for this character. Now, this character, like I said, the fact that this character is a trans is not the issue with this character. Yeah, it's kind of a central part to this character, but it's not the defining characteristic for this individual. So I'm fine with the character being trans. I don't care. The problem people are having, apparently, is because the character itself is played by what they call a cisgender man. So the actor and is not a trans. And there's a reason given for why that's the case, which is a plausible fucking reason. But there's no appeasing these people. And it says, this is the explanation for given. I do understand that there has been some concerns from the Western world, from retards. Just say from retards. Been some concerns from the US. But in the case of Korea, we didn't have as many concerns because of the Eastern or Asian culture. In Korea, there are really not many transgender people who have come out and are actors, and there's just a couple of gay actors who have come out publicly. So it's physically difficult to find a transgender actor who could really play the role. It was, realistically speaking, nearly impossible. So nearly fucking impossible to find an actual transgender actor or actress to play this character. Yes, and Alice in Borderland has a trans character. You wouldn't fucking know it's a trans character because that's not the defining characteristic of said individual, and it's a great character. And there's a fucking plausible reason why the character is able to do what the character is able to do. I don't fucking care if a character is trans. I really don't fucking care. I think, it's weird when like it becomes a defining characteristic because of the fact that trans people actually only make up less than 1% of the actual US population. But if the character is trans, I don't fucking care. Just don't make it the defining characteristic of whatever it is you are creating around that character, which is what they tend to do. This character is trans, that is the only defining characteristics of this character. Boom. Nothing else about that character. It's like, when they use it as a virtue signal, I fucking hate it. I don't care, like I said, about the sexuality of the character. Just make it a good character. Batwoman, for example, the show was fucking terrible. Batwoman, the character, is actually a lesbian in the comics. No one fucking cared because the character is actually good. But the show was so shit, and they kind of made that a defining characteristic about the character. No, that was a character that just happened to be lesbian. So, but there it is. That's the reason given. It's a plausible reason, because it said, hey, we can't fucking find one. So pretty much calm your tits. That's the reason why we selected this actor, because he was able to add that level of pathos or ethos or whatever you want to call it to the character, that level of emotion to the character, and so forth. So this is that's it. So this basically whatever backlash happened, it's from the TikTok crowd, basically the ex Twitter crowd, basically not liking the fact that the character itself is played by an actual cisgender man. But normal people don't fucking care. We just want good characters. And I'm willing to give this character the benefit of the doubt to see what happens in the final season, which drops on Friday. I'm not happy so far with season two, but we'll see how the show itself wraps up, because this is supposed to be the final season. So we'll see how this wraps up. There has to be there has to be resolution. So
Yeah. I don't have anything to add to that.
no, I'm just saying, like, I saw that article and the fact that Squid Game was dropping, so I figured, really?
When does it drop?
This Friday. So I'm like, really? There was backlash? Like, that's the backlash to this fucking show? Never mind all the setup that had no resolution or anything, or the fact that there's no character at all within season 2 that I even remotely cared about. The fact that you had a character on that show who's pregnant and sticking around to try to win more money. Never mind the fact that she has a child she's carrying and she doesn't seem to give a shit about it. No, never mind that. No,
yeah.
I want to focus on the fact that they couldn't find a fucking transgender actor to play a character. But I'm not really fucking surprised because people are stupid. Oh yeah, happy 50th birthday to Jaws. Because Jaws turns 50 this year. Anyway, last article I have. We're not really going to go into it necessarily because we're not going to talk about the show, but Stig shared it with me. And I'm really not surprised. I did not watch Daredevil Born Again. I heard it was not good. I heard that
No, Daredevil Born Again was terrible. It was such a letdown.
Fisk loved to talk about his feelings, which didn't make any fucking sense. But according to this article, all right, there's a part in here where it says, basically, so the original intention was to move away from anything related to the Netflix television series, with the exception of bringing back Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. This was also reflected in the editing of the series before the overhaul, according to editor Stephanie Philo, who spoke to Awards Radar, blah, 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 and explained that the original take on it was to lean away from the Netflix Daredevil show. They actually told us not to watch the Netflix show because they didn't want to affect how we were editing it. How about that should affect how you're writing it? Because you're connecting it to that fucking show, so it should affect how you're writing it because it's supposed to be a continuation of that Netflix series. Once we restructured everything and figured out what we would do different, we would do a different take on it, we dove back into the Netflix side of things. We were able to use temp music from the Netflix series and get back to the darker vibe. So yeah.
That's so freaking dumb.
So
she was told not to watch it.
Yeah, told not to watch the original Netflix series. Even though this is supposed to be a continuation of said series, they were told not to watch it.
Yeah, I can totally believe that. Like, there's been stories about, people going in to make a superhero movie and they're told, like, oh, just don't worry about the superhero comic. You don't have to do any research for these movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they're going in with the intention of changing it. They had no intention of, keeping it to what the Netflix series was, or keeping that tone, keeping those same characters. No intention, because everything was different in the series. Completely different. They had, that's why they're like, don't bother watching it, because we're doing something different. And like, I understand I love the Daredevil Netflix series. I think it was incredible. But the one on Disney Plus, Born Again, just was not that. No matter how hard they tried to be, it could not reach that level of entertainment. It was boring. All of the characters were different. It immediately killed off, oh my God, I can't remember his name. Why can't I remember?
I know what character you're talking about. I don't know it well enough. I know what character you're talking about.
Killed him off. Karen left, and they had to Foggy, thank you. And they had to replace them with insufferable characters. It had side stories that who gives a shit.
Mhm.
You know, it wasn't good. And like I think like people really wanted it to be good. So they were trying to excuse a lot of the red flags that you saw in the first two episodes. I didn't like it. Like immediately, I'm just like, I don't like it. You know, I do not like it, and it's not because I wanted to not like it. It's because I could see it. I could see where it was automatically. It was like it's a totally different show. It is not the same show. It's terrible.
Yeah, and now we have a clear idea, even though like it's not surprising to us why, and that is, well, they were actually actively told not to fucking watch the original series. Yeah, because that makes so much fucking sense. So much fucking sense, basically. Anyway, we're not going to go into the entirety of the article, but that was like the gist, basically. So yeah, don't watch the original series. Don't watch it. Write your own shit and find a way to somehow fucking connect it to the original series. Good luck. But there it is. That's all I have, chat. It was kind of a slow week in terms of news. I feel like the closer we get to when the new Superman movie drops and Fantastic Four First Steps drops, more news will be coming out. I actually have been paying attention to Rings of Power news, but nothing worth talking about. There's really nothing worth talking about for that series, in my opinion, regardless. But as far as news that's dropped, in terms of like what's happening with Rings of Power, basically, it's like nothing really at all worth even dedicating any time to. Except for the fact that it's like, I guess it's supposed to be hold on, let me see if I can find where I read this, because they go into like the overview of like what season 3 is going to be. Hold on. Let me see. Or is it? Which article was this in? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, here it is. I'll just share this. Retardation. Rings of Power Season 3. Jumping forward several years, because that always fucking works in a series, from the events of Season 2. Season 3 takes place at the height of the War of the Elves and Sauron, as the Dark Lord seeks to craft the One Ring. That was, actually what revealed Sauron to the other characters of Middle-earth, but they know he's Sauron before he creates the One Ring. Retardation. That will give him the edge he needs to win the war and conquer all Middle-earth at last. Well, newsflash, he doesn't, because the last alliance of men and elves puts a stop to that, at least for the time being. So the fact that he has jumping forward several years, and it's the height of the War of the Elves and Sauron, right? I don't know if how close they're going to get to the last alliance, because the war does last a long time. At least, like, when I say last a long time, I mean, like, there's like, it's like that conflict does last a long time, leading up to when elves and men come together to take that final stand against Sauron. Oh, shut up, last toxic male. I can roll my R's, Sauron. This is what we're gonna get. So this is like what I saw earlier today, and I'm like, fuck Christ. And yes, I will be watching that shit show.
Yay!
I'll be watching that shit show. I won't be doing spoiler-free reviews because I don't think really anybody cares. So what I'll do is I'll watch the episode and then do like a spoiler breakdown. So you'll see my pain play out live as I break down each episode. I have a feeling they're gonna drop like the first 2 or 3, like they did for the first 2 seasons. They're gonna want to drop it and get it over and done with, since they lost like a huge percentage of viewers from season 1 to season 2. One chub to rule them all. Anyway, that's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, for this evening as far as pop culture news. Next week, it'll be on Steph's channel.
Yeah.
So before I go into my little outro, Steph, let everybody know where they can find you and all that fun stuff.
My nerdy home everywhere.
Mm-hmm. You got anything coming up, like live streams or anything?
Tomorrow is Monday. So Chris Gore's channel for Versus, and then I'm probably gonna stream on Kick more this week as well. So we'll probably do Mario Kart and Mario Kart World. And then I think I'm gonna play because I put it in my Switch, but I haven't like started it too much. My very first Zelda game. So I kind of want to do that. So I'll do that as well. And then on Tuesday, if you're a part of G&G Locals, me and Krista are going to be streaming Mario Kart World at 9 p.m. Eastern that night. And then Nerdy News will either be on Tuesday or Wednesday. I haven't really decided yet. And then I think that's it. Pretty sure that's it. Oh, Wednesday, Geeks and Gamers Daily. I am on that on Wednesday mornings.
All right. And like I said, chat, I'm most likely not going to stream tomorrow evening because, like I said, I'm trying to reinstall a bunch of stuff that I need for when I do gaming streams. I'm probably going to take tomorrow evening to get it all situated. So the next stream for me will be Tuesday evening. That'll be through YouTube, and that'll be a reading stream. And it's all going to depend on the length of chapters. So it's either going to be 1 chapter or 2 chapters of the 2 towers. I can't remember exactly what chapter I left off at, but that's what next stream will be, the reading stream. And from Wednesday to Friday, once I get everything situated for the gaming streams, I'll be returning to Kick and Twitch. Most likely getting back into Doom Eternal. So I have that game, but I want to install other games from Steam that I not lost, but I have to reinstall because I got a new PC. Yes, this is my PayPal. I don't expect direct donations via here, but I do appreciate them. This is my Kick. I do dual stream Kick and Twitch whenever I do gaming streams. And again, where's the in the meantime, if I don't do any gaming streams, where is that chat? Here again, the Gronk Squad channel. Again, thank you for dropping the link periodically, Soul Assassin, much appreciated. They are trying to reach 500 subs. They do gaming streams here as well as premiere videos and so forth. I do know sometime this week they are going to be streaming the new Siege mode for Space Marine 2. So if you like that game, come check them out. I'm not sure when exactly that'll be, but sub to their channel, make sure the notifications are on, and help them reach 500 subscribers so they can monetize the channel. It very much will help them moving forward with the channel. So that is very much appreciated. Yeah, so that is what is to be expected.
Oh, also
chances are no, because I have too many games I need to play, and I'm not really into playing Doom Awakening that much. Anyway.
What Zelda game? It's Breath of the Wild. That's the one that I have. Also, I went to Hawaii. I didn't announce that or anything like that. I just went on a trip to Hawaii. And I posted pictures of that on my Instagram if you want to go and check those out. I scuba dive with sea turtles, and I went shark diving.
I love sharks. I don't think I would be able to do that, but I said, even but I don't know if I told you this. I would not be able to scuba dive at all, no matter what, because my allergies affect my sinuses, and if your respiratory system is affected in any way, they won't let you scuba dive. So I wouldn't be able to do it regardless. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it regardless. That's what I learned when I was in Guam.
Oh, not scuba diving. What am I saying? Snorkeling, not scuba.
Snorkeling. Yeah. But I would not be able to scuba dive because your respiratory system has to be peak to do that.
Snorkeling. Yeah. I snorkeled with sea turtles in the wild. They're everywhere in Hawaii.
Oh yeah. So I saw dolphins too and things like that. So I
saw dolphins. Yeah. But I posted some photos. If you guys want to go and check that out, it's over on my Instagram. And I did shark cage and everything. It was the most terrifying thing that I've ever done, but it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I did it.
So what was I gonna say? Oh, and when Steph told me where she was going, yeah, I wasn't allowed to like say anything, which I obviously didn't basically. But I told her, yeah, I've been to that island. There's a stretch that reminds you of how poor you are.
I visited.
She visited said island, and like she sent me this video. I'm poor. I'm like, yes. I'm like, yeah, I told you.
Yeah. Well, like we had, I think, I was staying. Like maybe it's like a 10-minute walk away from that section at the hotel that I was staying at.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
I walked.
hotel I was at basically when I was like last there because it was close too.
Yeah, it was very close. But I had a lot of fun. The weather there was gorgeous. They were complaining about it, saying like, "Oh my god, it was so hot because it's summertime." It was so great. It was amazing. I freaking loved it. You fed the sharks? No, we weren't allowed to feed them. So basically when they took us out on this boat, right? So they took us out. It was like a group of I think like 12 people. And I was in the first group that went in the cage. So what they did was the cages are already out there. They're like anchored out I think like 5 miles off the coast. They're anchored in there already. And they use that area for fishing. So like the sharks know that when they hear the boats that they are going to either be fed or whatever because they are
sharks are
like,
smart.
They associate the sound of the boats with fishing, with food, which is not good if you're gonna swim with them.
No, I mean, they are smart. Like they are smart creatures. So
yeah, it's not good if you're gonna swim with them. That's what I was thinking. Like so they associate boats with food and we're getting into water.
I think it's more the vibrations in the water. That's what draws the sharks. I don't think it's the sounds, but the vibrations because it mimics the sound. Like it mimics a struggling creature. So it's drawn to those vibrations when a boat comes in. That's what they're drawn to.
But yeah, so then they hooked. It was so crazy because I thought that the cage, they had 2 cages out there because there's 2 boats going in and out. But they put the boat like next to the cage, so I figured, oh, okay, cool. We're gonna get in the cage, and it's gonna stay right there next to the boat.
Nope,
it doesn't. Nope. Oh my god.
I at least know that.
You're in the cage for 20 minutes, but it felt like a lifetime. So it felt like a lifetime because like at one point I'm going down and I'm seeing they're huge. They're huge. So you don't realize how big these sharks are until you're next. Oh my god, I was terrified. I thought I was gonna die or get bitten or something. And they tell you like keep your feet straight because there were 6 of us in the cage at one, no, 5 of us in the cage at one point. 4, 5, no, 6. There were 6. And they're like, keep your body straight. So that way, like, you're not floating. You don't kick someone behind you. Make sure you keep it straight. It is so freaking hard to keep yourself straight like that. Oh my God. I like literally attached my attached my feet to like the bottom bar. Because I was so scared. At one point I let go of the cage and my feet went like outside the cage. I was like, oh
god, no.
Totally freaked out. But I did that after I noticed, like I looked up and I looked at the boat. We were like, the cage was like maybe 10 feet from the boat. So they pushed the cage out so the sharks could swim around it. And I was like, oh my God, what happens if like something happens? Like the cage is away from the boat. Yeah. I was so scared. I was terrified. When it was over, like, and they said like, okay, we're pulling you in. When they started pulling in the cage, the waves were hitting even harder. So like, you're above the cage, but the waves keep hitting you. And I was just like, I want to get out. 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 And when I was finally like getting out, my legs have never felt heavier because I was that scared. Like it felt like they were 300 pounds each. Like I was just like trying to get out of the cage and I felt like I couldn't do it because I was that scared, but it was fun. I had it was fun. Looking back, I'm so glad I did it and it was so much fun. But yeah, like I was so scared.
Anyway, saw someone like, this is this address again. Thank you for reaching 350 subscribers on the Gronk Squad channel. Very much appreciated. Do I like Jaws 3? And yes and no. yes and no. There are parts of it where I'm like, yeah, I like it, and the other parts where I'm like it was the 3D gimmick mainly. Like the timeline jump didn't make any sense with like the casting and everything, but then again, the second one didn't pay attention to the timeline from the first one and made no sense as far as
The third one
timeline
is
goes.
Revenge, right?
No, that's 4.
Which was the third one?
Just Jaws 3D basically. It's like because it
Oh,
lead
it's
into
the SeaWorld one.
yeah, it's the SeaWorld. Like well,
Oh, it's the SeaWorld
SeaWorld
one.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jaws Revenge is the 4th one. That's the one where it's like, holy shit! What were like? Why? Just why?
I actually like 4 more than 3.
Oh my god! I'm gonna call it here, chat, on that little bomb drop. But yeah, next time I'll be on Steph's channel, so get the notification bell on. Look for that. It'll be 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Again, no stream tomorrow. Reading stream Tuesday. Wednesday through Friday, try to do gaming streams to get back into the swing of things, and then Saturday no stream because Night of Champions event airs, and I'll most likely be watching the replay later on in the evening. So I'll be staying off of social media, so there's no spoilers for matches or anything like that, because they're in Saudi Arabia, and the event itself starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I'm most likely going to be off of social media and wait until later on when it's officially done and I can just watch the replay. So take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world, and we will see you all next week for another episode of Talk Nerdy to Us.
Daddy Luther.
Yeah, and
Daddy.
hashtag Chubbies. Peace.
Clex.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.